the public as well as racers, clubs, and charitable organizations as well. We focus on small monohulls, catamarans, and foiling boats. We are able to promote sailing in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, the East Coast, as well as all over the U.S. It's just a wonderful sport that we try to promote for everybody's use.
Celebrating 50 years, the spark that lit the flame. Sponsored by Peggy Anthony, sister to Ron Anthony, our Worrell alumni. And by Zyke, get zyked and ready in Zyke racing gear. By Virginia Beach, plan your next vacation at visitvirginiabeach.com. And by East Coast Sailboats, our very own Hardy Peters Team OBX.
Good morning, Worrell family, racers, families, friends, and fans. Here we are once again on leg 9 of the Worrell 1000 2024, celebrating 50 years, the spark that lit the flame. Thanks everyone for being with us, for staying with us, for liking, sharing, and following not only our posts, but all of our videos. I heard a lot from the racers this morning that there's been a lot of chatter online, not only rooting for teams, but wishing teams well, especially Team Rue in the Hat, which I have to say, thankfully, they are back on the line this morning. Unfortunately, they're already all the way down on the 11th position of the start line, but when it comes to a leg that's about 70, 75 miles, it really doesn't matter. So we welcome Rue in the Hat back. We really do. They have had an equipment change, which is funny considering the fact that that equipment is the whole boat. They still have their sails, of course, that they've been sailing with, and for those who are wondering, no, there is no penalty for that. We do allow one equipment change without penalty due to equipment failure. In this case, there's a pretty decent knock in the hull that's causing the starboard hull to fill with water, so of course they can't sail with that. They did have a spare boat, so they were able to utilize that. Stickers have been put on, and they do have their sails, which came out of that leg 2 legs ago unscathed, so yay, life is good. Welcome back, Brett White and Larry Ferber of Team Rue in the Hat. With that said, let's go ahead and dispense with the niceries. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Peggy Anthony, East Coast Sailboats, Visit Virginia Beach, and of course, Zyke. And I want to give a very special shout out to Mr. Bob Taylor from Taylor's Do It Centers. He was responsible for the social event that we had last night. He rented for the entire group our very own food truck. Catch the Food Truck was amazing. If you have a chance to go to their restaurant or go to one of their food trucks here in the North Carolina area, please do. They're phenomenal. He also gave everyone, he treated everyone to a keg. Sailors love kegs after all. So thank you so much, Bob Taylor of Taylor's Do It Centers. We really appreciate you. Let's talk about the leg today. The leg from Wrightsville to Atlantic Beach is roughly about 70 miles, so it is about 15 miles shorter than the leg yesterday, which is good because we are looking at much of the same weather as we had yesterday. The wind, unfortunately, is continuing to come at us from the north, not the most desirable direction, so it is going to be an upwind leg for the racers today. The winds should remain steady at 10 to 15 knots. They're a little bit lighter right now, but they are expected to build to about 10 to 15 by the afternoon. But the really nice part about this leg, not only is it a little bit shorter, but it's a straight shot up the coast. There's no capes, there's no land juts to go around. It's simply a straight shot. So hopefully we're looking at just maybe 1 or 2 tacks today in order to get us to Atlantic Beach. All right, today is going to be mostly sunny, cooler as we move north. Keep that in mind. And also for tomorrow, very, very important for all of our viewers who like to come in and watch the live feeds, we are starting very, very early tomorrow. Tomorrow's leg is from Atlantic Beach to Ocracoke, and there's a ferry that all of us have to take. So in order to be able to beat the racers there, we're going to have them start earlier so that all of their ground crews and the race committee can get on an earlier ferry. So we will have an 8 a.m. start. That's 2 hours earlier. Instead of 10 tomorrow, we will have an 8 a.m. start, which means skipper's meeting is at 7 a.m. Now, I know what you're thinking. Just because we're starting earlier doesn't mean we're guaranteed to get over to Ocracoke on that ferry, but we do have a plan in place. We are sending a skeleton crew ahead, so we make sure that there is a finish line. And as a special guest this morning, we have our PRO, Mr. John Williams. Hey, John, want to talk about the day today?
I do. Have you already talked about the weather?
Please do so again.
Okay, 10 to 15 is what's forecast out of the northeast. It will be another beat today. Straight shot, 70 miles, no capes or navigational hazards to deal with. They should have a pretty pleasant day on the water. There's not a cloud in the sky right now, but it is forecast for a little bit of cloud to come in a little bit later. Don't think I've got much else to talk about.
You want to talk about Ruin the Hat?
Ruin the Hat is back on the beach. They put a spare boat on the beach. I approved sail changes due to some damage that they had when they hit the jetty, or the jetty. So they hit that Charleston Harbor jetty, and that's the reason that their starboard hull was leaking so badly. And apparently they went over and they've got some mainsail damage. I did approve a sail change for them.
That's new information, thank you.
Looks a little rudimentary. They use some black duct tape, but the rules do require them to have their team name visible in 6-inch high letters so that we can tell who they are as they come into the beach. Other than that, I want to give a shout out to all my buddies at the Space Center. I'll be back to work next week. Thanks very much for covering for me while I've been out. Thanks so much for your comments online. It's great that you guys get to see what I do when I relax.
John has a strange way of relaxing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
new. Everybody.
That was new information on Ruin the Hat. Thank you so much to our PRO, John Williams, for doing that for us. Before we go ahead and sign off, I'm going to go through the standings for, the lineup for today, forgive me. So on the beach, the way they're lined up is in the order that they finished last night. In the pole position is Team Australia 1, that's Brett Burville and Max Putman. In the second position is a gentleman's agreement. They had a hell of leg yesterday, finishing a strong second. We are so proud of Sam Carter and Ian Ray. In the third position is Team Rudy's, really coming back nicely with some good finishes. That's Randy Smythe and Dalton Tebow. In the fourth position is Cirrus MM Sailing, that's Emmanuel Ballone and Matu Marfang, who, by the way, had a birthday today. In the fifth position is Team Australia 2, that's Max Putman and Team Australia 2, sorry. That's Peter and Bailey Skews. In the sixth position is TCDYC. That's Chris Green and Jean Ballone. In the seventh position is Team Meerkat. That's Mark Moderman and Mike Seo. In the eighth position is Team MLP. That's Gerard Luce and Andre Hauschke. And in the ninth position is Team OBX, Hardy Peters and James Eaton. And we're happy to say, in the 10th position is Team Rue in the Hat. That's Brett White and Larry Ferber. Just something very quickly before we sign off, if everyone can please give some nice well wishes and attaboys to Mike Seo of Team Meerkat. For those of you who don't know, I talked to him on the beach this morning. He looked like he was hurting pretty bad. He told me that early on in the leg yesterday, he dislocated his shoulder. He was down on the tramp, in pain for a while. Mark was very concerned. He said, no, let's not go in. I'm fine. I'll try to pop it back into place. And he did, bless his heart. He did pop that back into place while they were sailing, and he finished the leg. Gosh, that's amazing. So please, Mike Seo, Team Meerkat, please wish him well and attaboys and say, you guys are really doing a bang-up job. We're going to sign off for now. We'll come back and give you the live start. 9:54, about 10 minutes from now is going to be the attention signal. We'll be back then. Thank you so much.